Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of She Dies Tomorrow. She Dies Tomorrow is a thrilling drama from Neon Pictures, directed by Amy Seimetz. The film follows a woman who is convinced that she is in fact dying tomorrow without a cause or a reason. We follow her as she goes through life on her final evening, spreading her belief to others along the way. I viewed this film via Screener thanks to the Cinemania World page. I knew absolutely nothing about this film. I never had even heard of it. I never had seen a trailer. I didn't watch a trailer beforehand. Just went in pretty much blind to what the film actually was. Now, this film was meant to debut at the South by Southwest Film Festival, which unfortunately did have to cancel for 2020, but did find distribution through Neon in select cinemas and drive-through theaters, as well as video on demand on August 7th. So, what did I end up thinking of the film? Well, in the end, it's more of an interesting art piece than an actual film. So, let's go ahead and talk about the positives. So my biggest positive is that there are ideas within this film that I quite enjoy. There are topics and these deeper issues and deeper meanings that are very interesting. And the metaphorical qualities of what's happening on screen make for ideas that will at least have you thinking a little bit. So existential dread is basically the overlying theme of this film, and the kind of metaphor of having it spread from person to person was really interesting. It's almost like It Follows, but with existential dread and not the STD metaphor. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's nearly as good as It Follows, not nearly as well executed as that film either. But on a similar level to that film, I like the building blocks. I like where we start with this film in terms of ideas, in terms of deeper themes and levels. I also think most of our acting cast is quite good. Caitlin Scheel is our lead in the film, and she does a fantastic job. It's a very awkward and weird role to pull off effectively, but I think she does the best she can. The end shot with her, particularly, I actually think is fantastic and really was able to highlight her skills as an actress. But we have some bigger names like Chris Messina and Michelle Rodriguez. They're not given nearly as much to do, but I think everybody in the film gives it their best and we get good acting performances. So then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to She Dies Tomorrow? One of my positives, I mentioned the building blocks that are there, the metaphors and the ideas that really lay up the groundwork and the basement for this film. Unfortunately, they're not assembled in any sort of way that works. It doesn't work. And I am not the type of viewer who enjoys films that come across as purely metaphorical and really sacrifice storytelling or narrative just to get some sort of metaphor across. The idea of existential dread didn't work for me because these characters didn't work for me. I didn't care. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't care anything about them. Thus, this dread that just lays over thick on the film falls flat. Narrative structure is also all over the place. We have a lot of flashbacks. The direction is very abrupt. Across the board, the direction takes an abrupt stance. It's very purposeful, but whether it be the music choice, the scene cuts, the lighting, everything just hits hard and switches fast. But the structure didn't work. The flashbacks didn't give purpose to the film. There's something to be said about not having to spoon feed your audience, but that only works if the material you put to screen actually comes together to say something. And ultimately, largely through the fact that it doesn't have any sort of narrative structure, it doesn't have any sort of story to really tell. Once we get to the end point, I was left thinking, the there's a lot being said here, but ultimately, what really is this film trying to say? What is its message? What is the point of this story that we were just told? And I think it really drops the ball in getting to that destination. And a lot of it has to do with that script as well. The script is quite jumbled, and the dialogue is really, really strange. Nobody in this film felt real. I mean, maybe Chris Messina's character is the closest one to an actual human being throughout the entire film, but nobody felt real. There's this weird friend couple that I just couldn't care less about, and they literally felt like aliens. Much like everybody in this film, just kind of felt like weird aliens plopped into this art exhibit. Unfortunately, I would liken She Dies Tomorrow to a weird experimental college assignment, unfortunately. There's a lot of ideas here, and there are some cool images, there are some cool concepts, but the execution just kind of failed for me across the board in almost every department. This is the kind of indie filmmaking that doesn't click and doesn't really work. So overall, I think you can just skip She Dies Tomorrow. Certainly, I wouldn't recommend paying the VOD rental price for this. But the ideas alone aren't enough to really justify seeking this one out. So, that is my review of She Dies Tomorrow. Have you heard of this film? If you have, let me know. Are you excited? In the comment section down below. Or, of course, you can hit me up on Twitter. I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you did, hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!